All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome to our Team Fit Force team call. It is September 21st, and we are here tonight with Tawnya Landis. And Tawnya is a three-time elite coach. She is a 9-star diamond coach and a Success Club legend. She is just an all-around amazing person. She is my success partner, and we complement each other very well. And I was talking to her earlier just about some of the things that we've had going on. Hey guys, if you're not muted, if you just popped on, can you mute your phone or your audio, please? Thank you. So anyway, we were talking earlier just about some of the things that I personally was going through, and we had already had this call planned, so it couldn't come at a better time. And I feel like just a lot of you guys are also struggling with some of the same things with balancing life and business and priorities and all of that good stuff, and not feeling like we are just like running in a hamster wheel. And Tawnya is somebody that I really admire and respect in the way that she runs her business and how she manages her time. So she's going to talk to you guys about that today, and I have a really good gut feeling she's going to drop some really good bombs on you guys tonight. So get your notebooks out and get ready. Here you go, girl.
Thank you. Well, the pressure's on. All right. I'm excited, you guys, because this is one of my absolute favorite topics, because Beachbody, this is the gift you get. Beachbody gives you the gift of time. And those of you that aren't taking advantage of it, you are depriving yourself. Stop right now and take advantage of the time that Beachbody is giving you. I know that it always seems like you have a never-ending to-do list and you always feel like there's more that can be done, but I'm going to help you with that tonight. So just to give you a little bit of background about me, I am a 3-time elite coach. I have 12 lifetime diamonds on my team, and I built that with working part-time hours. I am not one of those people that will work 8 hours a day. I have done that, and I refuse to do that again. I was recruited out of college to work for Intel. I worked 80 hours a week, got myself a nice ulcer, was super skinny, not in a good way, lived off of a vending machine, and my hair started falling out. So I quickly realized, like, that is not how I want to live my life. And my husband and I have owned a couple different businesses, and one thing that we strive to do is manage our time. I have 3 kids, and so it's like the crazy bus over here, and if you hear them, sorry, but my priority is those kids and my husband, and in order to serve my family, I need to be really intentional with my time and the way that I run my business. And also, the reason that I'm so passionate about this is because so many people, it's not lack of money, it is lack of time that they feel they have. And we all control our schedules and control our days. And so make sure that you are running your day and your day is not running you. So the first thing, balance. Everybody's like, I need balance. I want balance. Well, what does balance truly look like for you? What would your ideal day look like? Like, what, if you could design your schedule the way you wanted, what would that look like? Because you know what? Beachbody can most likely give you that. But unless you know what you want, then you're never going to achieve it. So I challenge all of you to figure out what balance means to you. Like, what would a balanced day truly look like to you? Is it working a couple hours and then spending the rest of the day with your family? Is it, going out to coffee with friends like once a week? I mean, you really have to be realistic about it, but what does balance mean to you, and what does your ideal schedule look like? And then also, you need to set an example, like, not only for yourself, but also for your coaches. So if you're running around ragged and you're like, I work really hard and blah, 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 nobody's going to want to join your team. Nobody is going to want to, follow that example. There are coaches out there that, I mean, they're working 24/7. I don't want to work 24/7. Do you want to work 24/7? That's not inspiring to me. What's inspiring to me is having, you know, being able to work, influence people, help people with their, you know, their health and fitness, and then spending time with the people that matter most, which is my children and my husband. And so make sure that you're not like, you know, that you are setting an example for people. One of the reasons I know that I started my own fitness journey was I wanted to be an example for my kids in my health and fitness. And especially, I have a son and 2 girls. And I wanted to be an example for those girls. And then also the other big point of it was that I want, with my time, I don't want my kids to think that a mom's job is to run herself ragged. I don't want to be that either. You know, not only do I want to be healthy and fit for them, and I also want to show them how to live life and live life to its fullest, because life is a gift. And Lauren, you know, was chatting at the beginning of this call about how her friend has cancer. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. So what are you going to do about today? Are you going to take full advantage of today, or are you going to let it waste away? So, you know, time is a gift. So make sure you take advantage of it. So what I do in order to know what to do with my time is, the first thing that you need to do is, what are your top 3 priorities? What are your priorities? I know what my top 3 are, and you need to know what yours are. So top 3 priorities, you need to write those down. If you don't know your priorities, then you are going to have problems with this. So top 3 priorities. Then you need to write out your goals. And the reason that I have you write your goals second is because you need to make sure that those goals align with your priorities. So if your goal is like, let's say it's to make, you know, $100,000 with Beachbody, but one of your priorities is your family, you need to figure out, okay, how much time are you going to be able to dedicate to that goal? So I was able to build a 6-figure income, you know, with and still honor my family priorities, but going for a top 10 coach would not be a goal that would align with my priorities at this point in my life. So you have to know what your top 3 priorities are, and then write out your goals and make sure they align. If they don't align with your priorities, then chances are you've got a conflict going on, and you need to figure out, okay, do you need to change your priorities? Is that realistic, or do you need to change your goals? That's for you to decide. These are all personal based. Everybody's in a different season of life. So you kind of have to go with, you know, what your season is. Once I do that, then what I do is I reverse engineer my to-do list. So when I go and look at what do I need to do, I look at, is this contributing to my goals? Is this violating a priority? Because if it violates a priority, I'm not going to do it. I get asked to do things all the time, and if it violates my priorities, I won't do it. The answer is no. If you haven't read The Best Yes, if you're like that person that's a people pleaser and you're always like, yes, 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 sure, I'll do that. Sure, I'm going to make 12 dozen cupcakes for my kids' class, or I'm going to do, you know, I remember the day I broke down over fruit kebabs I had to make for my daughter's Dr. Seuss Day, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why did I say yes to this? This makes no sense. It violated my priority. We all get trapped in that, so you need to make sure that when you say yes to something, you check with your priorities. So don't feel obligated to be like, oh yeah, I'll totally do that. Say, oh, you know, let me get back to you. I'll get back to you. And then go check your priorities. And then if it doesn't align, say, you know, thanks for thinking of me, but I can't commit to that right now. Or thanks, you know, sorry, no. I tell people no all the time. People will respect you. If they get mad at you, then that's on them. So, you know, don't violate your priorities. You know what they are. So that's what to do about if you're a yes person or a people pleaser. So when I get asked to do something, or I put something on my to-do list, I make sure it adds value, it contributes to the goals, and then how important is it? Is it like super important to get done that day, like a number 1, like, you know, heads are going to roll? Then I'll put an asterisk by it. If it's something that, it's okay, it's like mediocre, then, you know, I'll just put like a little line next to it. You got to have like your own tracking. This is my tracking. Sorry. If you're someone that is fancy with color coding, I'm not that person. I love people that do that. This is perfect for you. You can do different colors. And then if it's something that, it could get done, but, it could get pushed off to a different day, then it goes at the bottom of the list. Just be realistic with what you're doing in your time. You can't make a list this long and expect to get it done every day. That doesn't happen. Pick like 3 to 4 things you're going to do that day that, like, if your day, I don't know, if you have kids, like your day could go sideways real fast. So with 3 kids, I constantly somebody's sick, somebody forgot their soccer uniform and I have to run it to school. Somebody, like my son, like after this call, I get to go to the store and buy a poster board because he forgot to bring it home for a project. You never know what's going to happen. And, they're my top priority. So they get first dibs. So you never know. So make sure that with your work schedule that you know what you need to get done first. And just pick 3 things that if I don't do anything today, I'm going to do these 3 things. And then circle them. And you can get those done. And then you'll feel accomplished at the end of the day instead of like, I should have done more. I could have done more. I'm a total failure at the business because I didn't do my to-do list that was this long. And all these other coaches they've got all their lists done. It's not true. Everybody's, struggling with that. So make sure that you know what you need to do. So the way that I lay out my week is I go and I look like on Sundays, depending on how my weekend's going, but I always make sure to spend some time. I look at my schedule. My schedule is in my phone. I live and die by this thing. I'm sorry, but this is where everything is. If you can do a planner, whatever you need to do, but this is always with me. I forget my purse, but I don't forget my phone. So as long as I have this, I have my brain. So what I do is I have Google Calendar. I have my husband's schedule in here. He uses it. My kids' schedule is in here. Like everything is in here because I can't remember everything for everybody. So I put in my calendar. If it's not in my calendar, it will not get done. If I try to go off my memory, I will forget. You can ask my husband. He'll tell you. I showed up to soccer practice an hour early to pick my son up last week because I thought I knew what time it ended because it ends at different times every day. Even though I know better, I should always check my calendar. I still did that and I shouldn't have. So use a calendar, whatever works for you. And if you have a family, I would highly suggest putting their schedules in here too, so that you know where you're supposed to be and when you're supposed to be there. And allow yourself margin. Don't schedule, I used to schedule so many things back to back. Give yourself some margin. I thought I was Superwoman and apparently could teleport places and I'm long-winded and I thought, oh, I can do calls in 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, right. I can't. So I had to get realistic with myself and give myself some margin and be realistic with what I'm doing and, what I'm capable of. So I use a calendar. I use Google. It works well. It's free. So I would suggest using it. Sorry. Hi. Go tell Daddy.
Mommy, Dad's on the call and I need you.
I'll be right out. Sorry. So my husband also runs an international business. So we have both of us poor scheduling tonight, but it's all good. So anyway, that's, make sure you've got it in your calendar. And then, so I look at the week and I look at, okay, what's my schedule look like? When am I going to do my power hour? Because I still, 4 years later, I scheduled my power hour. I need to be working on my business. So when is that going to happen? So I look through and I schedule it 5 days a week. I schedule a power hour. Yes, I take 2 days a week off. I take Thursdays and Sundays off, normally, depending on the week. But I always take 2 days off a week. In the beginning when I was building really hard, I didn't have that luxury and I didn't want it because I wanted to build fast and hard, but I always took at least 1 day off a week when I was building. So I put on there what my to-do list looks like in my power hour is, first thing, post on social media. Facebook, like page, and Instagram. I take like 5 or 10 minutes. I don't take more than that. I am not a fancy graphic person. Like that's not going to make or break your business. If you have extra time to get fancy with your posts, then yeah, go for it. A key thing to do here is scheduling like an hour a week and going through, and writing out all your posts. So you've got them, in your phone. I have a coach on my team. She keeps them in Evernote. I keep them in my notes section. I'll, think of a post and I'll write it down really quick in my notes section and then use it for that day. So make sure if you can plan it out ahead of time, have it planned. Then it will really only take you 5 minutes. The second thing I do is I go in and I check in with all my groups and post in my group. So I post and I check in. I allow myself 10 minutes. I guarantee you'll have more groups than most of you on this call, and I can do it in that amount of time. If there are things that I need to go back to, then I schedule some additional time later that day. But at least I've made that touch in the group. I showed up that morning, and then if I need to go back and comment, I can. If I have to do a video in the group, I do those later. And yeah, Sharon said set a timer. I use my iPhone timer on my phone. I use that for everything that I do, because if I don't use a timer, like time just gets away from me. And I have all my groups written out, and this is all on my phone, you guys. I put this in my note section, nothing fancy. I've just got it in here so I know what I need to do. I have a plan. I invite, because inviting is so important. Don't put that off till the end. If you haven't read Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, read it. People always put off the invites and the follow-ups. It drives me crazy. Get them done. Your business will not move forward if you don't invite and follow up with people. So I batch invites, and I've always done it that way. I have a certain number of invites I want to do a week, and I batch them twice a week. So twice a week, I go through and I do my invites. And then the other 2 days, I do follow-ups. That's how I run mine. If you're someone that likes to invite a certain amount each day, go for it and do your follow-ups. But I have found if I'm in the invite mode, I'm going to get all those busted out. And then when I'm in follow-up mode, I'm following up like a mad woman. So that's what I do. So depending if it's an invite day or a follow-up day, I base it on that. I allow myself for inviting 15 minutes and follow-up 15 minutes. If I have to come back to get into those conversations, I will, but I get them all out before I start responding to anybody. So for example, I'll start typing my invites and people are responding. I don't check those. I finish my invites first, then I go back, because full on, if you get in a conversation, you're never going to get the rest of those invites done, and your power hour is going to turn into 3-hour power hour. And we don't want that. So I want to get that number. And then what I do is after that, I check my sponsorship drill down to see what's going on. Who's going inactive? Who's fallen off? I expect all of my diamonds to be holding their stuff together. Like if you're a diamond, you should know how to check your sponsorship drill down. You should hold it together. I expect them to come to me to tell me if it's going to drop. You should train your coaches from day one to check. As soon as they become a coach, they should be expected to be checking their active status, and if there's a problem, to let their upline know. But I do check it because I want to make sure to see what's going on, and then I'll check in with them if needed. And then I also check breaking news to see what's going on in the breaking news. Like, what do we got going on now? Because there's always something in there, and then people are like, oh, I don't know, how do you do this? And you're like, it's in the FAQ. It just got released the other day. Do you not check your breaking news? Check your breaking news. So I spend about 10 minutes in there doing that. Then I connect with 10 people on my like page or text leads, depending on the day. Again, I'm a batcher. So I take 10 minutes to either connect with people off my like page and say, hey, girl, my name, this is, I'm Tawnya. I just want to extend a thank you for liking my page, whatever your message is. I do that. If it's a lead, then I text them and I say, thank you for your order. I just wanted to let you know I'm your free coach. Let me know if I can help you with your nutrition or fitness. I have a whole process for that. So I do that in batches. So just know what you're doing that day and then do it and spend 10 minutes doing it. Then I check messages. So I don't check messages until the end because messages are like the black hole. They're awesome, but once you get into them, like you just can't get out, right? So I don't check the feed and I don't check messages until the end. Like if you are that person that gets up and you're like, oh, what's going on? Like, I gotta check my messages, gotta check my email. Your day is gonna run you. Other people are gonna run your day. I own my day. I'm running my day. And, you know, a lot of people will have problems first thing in the morning, but like within like 10 to 15 minutes or an hour, they got it figured out. They're like, oh, never mind. I can't tell you how many coaches message me like these SOS messages in the morning. And then I get in there like an hour later and they're like, oh, I got it all figured out. It's totally fine. So, and as coaches, they usually can do that. They can figure it out. I mean, some situations we have to do, but I would make sure that you don't get in the message hole until you got your to-do list done. Otherwise, your day will get away from you. So you guys, generally that takes me like an hour, hour and 15 minutes to get all of that stuff done. And then I have other stuff scheduled for, you know, the day. It's not like I work, you know, just 1 hour a day. I do work more than that. But on the days that I've got a lot of stuff going on, this is what I get done. And I feel very accomplished when I get this stuff done. Mondays, I do tend to focus, like the way that I work my business is Mondays, I do focus on my business. I, you know, work on like invites. I follow up with people I invited over the weekend. It's my business day. Tuesday, I call Tuesday team day. So I do more of a focus on my coaches and like providing value to them. And then Wednesdays, I check in with my challengers. I don't work Thursdays. Fridays, I text leads or, you know, I work on my like page on Fridays. I also, you know, or I may do that on Saturday. That's kind of how I break up my week. I'm really like intentional. So when I get on, like, it's hard for me to have like, you know, do all those things every day. So I just like to batch them. And that has worked really well for my business. And I feel like it works really well for my coaches. I have a lot of coaches on my team who are nurses and doctors. And with their crazy schedules, they have to batch like I do. They have to. And the reason that I started batching is because when I first started, I stay-at-home mom of 3 little kids. One of my daughters had high medical needs. So we spend a lot of time in hospitals where you can't be on your cell phone. And so I had a limited amount of time. My husband worked a lot of hours. And so I had to be very intentional with what I was doing. And I found that batching worked really well for me. And so that's really how I've organized my day. And I'm just very intentional. I get up in the morning, I do my workout, I listen to personal development during my workout, and then I drink my shake. I fill myself before I start working on my business. If I get up and start working on my business first thing in the morning, I haven't filled my cup up and I can't go out and fill others. So I always make sure to get my workout done first thing in the morning. I am one of those people that gets up at 5. I didn't used to. I was the person that could barely roll out of bed at 9 a.m. But I forced myself to get up early because I knew that it set my day right. So I get my workout done, listen to my personal development during my workout, and I drink my shake. Anytime I'm in the car, I have personal development in my ear. When you hear, like, you could probably hear my kids screaming. I usually have like an earbud in one ear and personal development playing, and then I can hear my kids. And sometimes when they're really loud, I just stick that other earbud in, listen to more personal development. But I'm always doing personal development to make sure that I can provide, you know, because I need to fill myself up so that I can serve the family and, you know, also serve my coaches and my clients. So I would really make sure that you wouldn't get your workout, get your personal development in, and it'll help you set your mind right so that when you're working with your business and your power hour, you're feeling really good about it. So make sure that, you know, you do what works for you and your schedule, but really look at your schedule and figure out like where, you know, when you're going to be doing your power hours, what day are you going to work? What day are you going to take off? Like I had a coach yesterday message me and she was like, I worked really hard in my business yesterday. And today I feel like I should take, you know, like I just have no mojo. And I'm like, okay, well, what does working really hard mean to you? I want to know. And she's like, well, I worked 8 hours yesterday. And I was like, what the heck? Like, why are you working 8 hours behind your computer? What did you do? Well, she got in that trap of like you checking the feed, you know, like looking at people's profiles. I mean, how many of you guys have done that? And then you're like, holy heck, like 2 hours just passed of my life I can't get back. Don't do that. Like if you like doing that, do it after your power hour is done. But she was like drained, mentally drained. And I would be mentally drained too if I sat behind my computer or my phone for 8 hours. Get your stuff done and get on with your day. You're going to help way more people that way. You're going to be a great example for your coaches, and, you know, you'll get to spend time with your families. So that is really what I have for you guys tonight. My favorite books, you know, I mentioned The Best Yes. I also really like The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. It's an awesome book. Getting Things Done by David Allen. And then, of course, you know, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. And that's really, like, those books are all great time management book. I would say The Best Yes is good for you if you are a yes person and you can't say no. And then you find yourself like in tears because you've said yes to too much, because I did that. That was me. And then Getting Things Done is by David Allen. It's just a very practical book. So if you're like, just want like a really practical book about time management, that is a really good one, as well as The Slight Edge. So does anybody have any questions? Let me see here. Anybody? Oh, Lauren just brought up. So I do write my goals each week because I feel like if I write them, you know, you write them at the beginning of the year and you forget about them, or even once a month, you forget about them. I write them each week, and they're actually on Post-it note, like right at my desk, so that I know what my goals are, and I look at them, and then I do rewrite them every single week because that helps them stay fresh in my mind, and they help me focus. And then I know why I'm working each week. So on those weeks where you're just like, I feel like drained, I feel crappy, or I just don't want to work, you know what you're working for, and you'll be re-inspired. So I just I really make sure I do that. And another thing that I really like, I think you really have to do, is be honest with yourself about what you want from this business and what your goals are. Like for me, I had to be honest with myself. I can get competitive, and you know, and I can pull high SC numbers. I could go up into top 10. But I had to be honest with what did I really want that in my life? Would it honor my priorities? If you're someone that is fine, like go for it. I'm not telling you not to, but I have 3 kids, one that has challenging medical needs, and a husband that also runs a business. So, and I can't, you know, there's not wiggle room. I don't have the margin right now in this season of my life. So I have to be really honest with myself a lot of times. Like I'll be like, you know, with Beachbody, you always hear these cool goals and you're like, I got to do that. I got to do that. Well, ask yourself, do I really got to do that? Because I can get wrapped up into that. And then the people that, you know, I end up like unfulfilled and unhappy and worn out. So be honest with what you really want, you know, out of your business. What are your goals? Same with your fitness too. Like, I compete, and like I had to be honest with myself. Right now I'm not competing, so my body is not, you know, stage ready. And I was talking to my husband, I'm like, well, maybe I should do another competition. I'm like, but I was like, no, I'm really enjoying my balanced food right now. I want to have like a glass of wine, or I want to have a dessert with the kids. I don't want to do, you know, show eating. So I just make sure that I really check myself with what I'm working towards. And if you're finding like that you're not enjoying what you're doing, then something isn't going, you know, you're not following your priorities and you're not managing your time well. If you feel like you have to unplug and like get away from life, then you're not honoring your time, and you're not honoring your family's time. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's a true reality. And I slip into that all the time, and I have to check myself. I check myself every morning. I go in and I look at the schedule and I'm like, okay, what am I working on today? Because on those times when I get completely drained, then I can't serve anybody. I can't help my clients. So, you know, I have to make sure that I'm constantly, you know, checking what my goals are against what my actions. So make sure that's where, you know, figuring out your 3 priorities and then your goals based off of that is so important. And then everything you do during your day, it should honor those. And yeah, you're going to do some other stuff that has nothing to do with those, you know, like, sorry, my kids are being really loud, like going through and like, you know, you might, you know, have to go run and get poster board for your, you know, junior hire and at like 7 o'clock at night, but oh well, you know, like I'm going to do it because I'm his mom and I can, and it's my choice. But you just really need to make sure that you're honoring your time and that you're not wasting it and that it's following what you want. If you know, focus on what makes you happy. I got into management mode for a while and I didn't love being a manager. I'm not like, I told my team, I'm like, I'm not your, you know, your boss, I'm not your manager, and then the diamonds are not the assistant managers, and then the team's not the employees. It doesn't work that way. We all own our individual businesses, and so we all need to act like it. And so I'm like, you guys, like, you know, manage your time, figure out what you want. There's so many different things you can do with this business, and it is such a gift, and it can give you time, but it can only give you time if you accept it. So you need to accept it and make the most of it, and make sure that you are intentional with what you're doing, and don't get sidetracked by shiny things or different things like that. Really be honest with what you want from the business so that you follow your dreams. Like, you know, they always tell you, dream big, set goals. What do you want? Well, that's your time. So that's my time management, you know, and I hit elite last year. And you guys, I spent most of the year in Europe. I wasn't even in the US. I took my kids and my husband to Europe, and we were like all over the place. We didn't have a plan. We were on a one-way. We went on a one-way to London and then spent like a month in France. We spent a couple weeks in Paris. We went all over, and then we went to Italy and we spent a month over there. I came back to Summit. I flew directly from Rome to Nashville. They lost my luggage. And I had 3 jet-lagged little kids and a jet-lagged husband. And I went to Summit. This was in 2015. But you guys, I still hit elite, and I was living life. I was, you know, sitting out like in Italy drinking limoncello with my kids playing in the square, and we're just having like the time of our lives. And I didn't stress about the business because I had my time dialed in. I knew what I needed to do at night. I sat down and we put the kids to bed, and I just busted out my stuff, and then the next day I just lived my life. Like, it was amazing, and I still hit elite. And I remember corporate, like our corporate mentor, Doug Moss, he's like introduced me to his daughter, and he's like, hey, meet Tawnya. Tawnya pulls out elite, always is hitting in the top 200, and she leaves the country for several months at a time. And he's like, you know, like, how does she do it? He goes, time management, you guys, that's all it is. I don't have a leg up on any of you. It's just time. I just manage my time. So you guys could totally do the same thing if that's your dream. But yeah, that was like the most amazing gift I could have given my family, was just taking them to Europe and spending that time with them. And, you know, that was literally a bucket list item. So business can give you that. Just know what you want and be intentional, and you got it. Let me see here. So you posted samples of schedules. I just want to make sure I get all the questions. If you want to see my schedule, I can show you my schedule. I don't think you'll like the soccer in there. It's pretty crazy. My son plays competitive soccer. And so we're all over the map. But yeah, I can give you my schedule too.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think it would really be helpful. We have so many different varieties of people who work the business on our team. We have a lot of stay-at-home moms, but we have mostly, like I would say a good 50% of our team is nurses or healthcare people, which is funny because yours is too. So, you know, that they work night shifts, and, you know, we also have people that stay home that don't have kids and have a lot of time to dedicate, but aren't necessarily, you know, I don't know. They are feeling a little overwhelmed with everything, or just feeling, you know, maybe it's what you're saying. They're working too hard or, you know, I don't know. But we have just a ton of different varieties. So what I've been trying to do, you guys, is kind of poll other people or look for resources of different examples of different types of schedules for different, you know, lifestyles. So Summer Tucker shared something on another team call, and I think maybe in the wall as well. I'm not sure, but I asked to see those resources and was able to find them, and so I posted those in our files section for you guys. You can check them out, and it's literally like at 7 a.m. I do this, and at 6 o'clock at night I do this. So it's good. It's a good example. But if you wouldn't mind sharing, that would be awesome. Yeah, I don't know if you guys just read, but Tanya's top coach is a mom of 2, and she's a doctor in a very busy hospital. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind posting that video or sending it to me, that would be awesome. I'm sure that we all love to see how other people work the business. And it's good. And you guys don't feel like because we post these schedules, this is how you have to run your business. And, you know, you're not Tawnya, you're not me, you're not these other people that are posting their schedules. You have to do what Tawnya said and really write out your priorities, write out your goals, and then create a schedule with the activities that are being done here on the different schedules, and apply them to what works for your life. You know, that's why we changed team calls to, you know, allow us, for me personally, I'm like Tawnya, my evenings are for my family because it is the only time that I have with them all together. And, you know, I did put in the time just like Tawnya and like a lot of you are doing, to be able to say, no, I'm just not going to attend that call tonight. I'll catch the replay. Or no, I'm sorry, I can't speak on your call this week because I've already done another one this week and I have my team call and I only do 2 nights a week. So, you know, you have to really be okay with saying no to certain things and knowing what your balance is and what the activities are that you need to be doing to get you to where you need to be in the short amount of time that you guys have. So Tawnya didn't say this, but she said part-time hours, but I've heard her say it before where she doesn't work more than 8 to 10 hours a week. Like, that's it, y'all. Like, that's it. That's amazing. So if we could all have the success that she does, which we can, it's just focusing in on working smarter and being intentional with the activities that we are doing and in a certain amount of time. I love the timer idea, and just saying you have to also be okay with you're going to leave some things unfinished. Or just saying some things will go undone until this one thing is finished. It's better to have something finished, in my opinion, and then move to something the next day than to leave it undone, because then you have a ton of things that are undone. You know, so you have to figure out what works for you. For Tawnya, hers is, I'm going to give each one of these things a specific amount of time each day, and I'm going to get to it. Then other people are more like me, where this is my project and I'm finishing this, you know, like, because otherwise I'll have 20 things that I started and never finished. So you have to figure out and know your personality, know how you work, and know your priorities, and go with that. So I want to say thank you to Tawnya for showing up. Do we have, it says if you aren't scrolling the newsfeed to find out what people are up to. Oh, okay. So that's for you, Tawnya.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I thought I had to be in the news feed to figure out what's going on with people, but I don't. What I do, sometimes what I'll do is I will schedule time for the news feed, but no more than 10 minutes. And I'll usually do it like when I'm waiting. I'll get to like pick up my kids for carpool, and I'll get there 10 minutes early. And then I'll just be scrolling because I know that'll give me like a hard cutoff. Because when those kids get in the car, I can't like do anything. They're like, Mom, let's get home. Let's get ice cream. You know, they're all like screaming at me. So what I do is I reach out to those who like my posts. And then I also I do alphabetical. I do. I like pick a letter. I'm like, I'm feeling like the letter H is gonna be good today. And I go to their page, see what's going on, see if they're normal, and like, you know, like make sure that nothing bad has happened. You know, like I looked at somebody's the other day and their grandma just died. And so I just sent them a message saying, I'm really sorry. Yeah, I use Teamsy as well. Like Teamsy is a game changer for me. But before that, I was just literally like, what letter am I feeling? Like, I'll just pick a letter. And I go through and I start up conversations with those people. And that's what works for me. Getting sucked into that news feed for me, it's like, you know, reality TV. You can't stop. I'm sorry, but it's like, and, you know, no offense to people that watch reality TV or anything, but I had to give that up to be successful in my business. But I literally, it just gets you sucked in. So I try to stay out of it. I'll go to look, like I have my coaches that I need to check their pages that I'm working with. Like I always have a list of 5 to 10 coaches that I'm really focused on at that time. And I go through and look at their pages and just make sure, see how they're doing and stuff like that. And then I have like my 10 in play. Do you guys still use, like, do you guys all remember the 10 in play? Like you have a list of your 10 prospects. And then, you know, when one finally tells you no, you cross it off. Like back to basics is really kind of where I live at, you guys, is those basics. And I hit Success Club 10 every month. I've been in Success Club for 49 months or so, 48, I don't know. So I never run out of people to contact. So that's what I do. So all else fails, pick your favorite letter of the alphabet. So
okay. Sharon asked, how do you use Teamsy when you're batching? I'm sorry, I know you need to go. So we'll just do this one last question, guys, because I know Tawnya needs to run out. But Sharon asked, how do you do Teamsy when you're batching invites?
You guys are totally fine as long as you're okay with screaming girls. Sorry about that. What I do is I'll just go through. So like the other day I did a bunch of my invites. I was behind. We had a death in the family last week. I was super behind on my invites. It's been really hard to get caught up. And I was like, I have to do 35 invites. So I just went through, I used Teamsy and I did 35 invites. And then, yeah, Teamsy is not going to say like, you completed all your invites today. And I have to be okay with that. I did 35, like I'm good. So I just pick a number like that each week that I need to do for invites. And then I go through and I make sure I get those all done in Teamsy. And so like, if I only have time for 10, I'll be like, okay, well, I did 10 today. I need to do like 15 more the rest of the week. So it just depends on what your goal is for inviting each week. But that's how I do it. And I have a picture I can show you of, you know, because I do challenges with my coaches. I'll be like, hey, guys, I'm super behind on invites. Let's all do a challenge because I like the camaraderie. Like, who doesn't? Like, let's all make a commitment to get in 35 invites by Sunday. And they're like, okay, let's do it. I'm in. I'm like, who wants to do it with me? Like, don't be afraid to, like, you know, post a challenge on Lauren's team page and be like, hey, guys, like, I'm sucking at Success Club this month. Like I had some returns. I never get returns. I had some points taken, you know, and I was like, oh, that really stinks. So my team and I went to my team. I'm like, guys, I need your help. And my team members do that too. They'll be like, hey, let's do a challenge. And then, so we did like a challenge on invites. Like, let's all do the invites and post that we did them. And people had like their paper, you know, written down where they crossed off the names. People had pictures of Teamsy, like that said, you know, how many invites they did, and posted it in the team page. It was super fun. And then today, one of my coaches, bless her heart, went in and said, hey, now it's the day to follow up. I'm going to follow up with this many people. Who wants to join me? And then 20, I'm so sorry. You guys stop. 20 people were like, hey, I did my follow-ups, and you guys, it motivated me. So don't be afraid to do that. Like, you know, get the team on board with you. If you're like slacking on your invites, get that accountability. Post in, you know, Team Fit, you know, Lauren's Team Fit Force, and say, guys, let's do a challenge this week. Like, let's get this many invites in and let's do these follow-ups. Super fun. Yeah. you don't use them for accountability. Totally. Don't wait for a leader to post it. My team does it all the time. And it's mostly because I'm like, when I do it, it's because I'm slacking and I need some support. I look to my team to like get me motivated, and they do. They do a really good job. So yeah, that's what I do.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Hopefully you guys took away a lot of really great things from Tawnya tonight. What I would like for you guys to do is I want to have a discussion about this. I know some of us were talking about some things here on the chat, but what I want you to do is I want you to go right now when you hang up this call, and I want you to put down your top like takeaway from this call, or put it underneath of our post in the group, and just kind of share the things that she kind of made you think about tonight, whether it be an aha moment or just something that made you kind of be like, you know, you're questioning yourself or something that you're doing. But I want you to share on there and share it out loud. So, I mean, us all sharing together in our team page is what it's all about. You don't have to look perfect on our team page. You don't have to, you know, the team page is a place for us to celebrate life, to celebrate each other, to celebrate successes. It doesn't have to be just business, you guys. Like, first and foremost, our team, we are family, we are friends. Like, that is first. Business is honestly second. Like, that's the way that it should be. So yeah, Tawnya said, like, lean on your team. That's exactly what it is all about. So we learn from each other, and I feel like in our team page especially, we've kind of gotten away from that, and it's been more just a place to ask like questions more than it has been to just celebrate life together. And I feel like if we can bring that camaraderie back to our team page, like Tawnya said, we're all going to be able to do this together in a much more fun, like exciting environment, and it'll make it just not feel so, like, I've heard a lot of people say lately that they feel alone in the business, or they feel like they just don't know what to do. And this is going to help change that. So being able to share your schedules, like we talked about schedules tonight, share your schedules on our team page and let other people see what you're doing, because or post it in our file section underneath like the example schedules. Create a Google link or share it, like actually add it to the file. You can edit it. It's okay. You know, but sharing these things with each other is really going to help us all be successful, because we can all take little things from, you know, each individual person and create our own system of how to work things that works best for you in your life. You know, it doesn't have to be just what works for me. So I think that's it. Make sure you share. If you guys have any other questions, Tawnya is in our team page, you guys, so you can surely tag her in something. She is very busy and she does honor her time, so just respect that she may not get back to it right away, but she will try. And if not, I'll make sure I ask her a question when we chat weekly. And just take the time to say thank you. That's all. I mean, we all want to be, you know, recognize her and honor her for taking her time out from her family tonight to speak to us on a night she's not supposed to. So thank you, Tawnya. Love you for that. I guess that's it. So you guys have a great night, and we will all link back up together again on October 5th. So it's 2 Wednesdays from now. All right, everybody have a great night. Bye.